So I've been asked what make Adventures Dark and Deep different than first edition AD&D. And it's a great question, and it actually has several answers. There's several differences between Adventures Dark and Deep, whether it's the light version or the core version, and 1E. And the first is obviously the core version has all kinds of different subclasses and everything. It's got mountebanks and jesters and savants and mystics. It's got all the subclasses that Gygax wanted to include in 1E back in the 80s, but couldn't. He was talking about them in Dragon Magazine, and obviously then he was pushed out of TSR and he never got the chance to do it. So I went through and I created those classes based on snippets that he had left all over the internet and in Dragon and so forth to create my own versions of them. So the existence of the subclasses is one big thing. One thing that made it into the light version, though, is the 4 class of the Bard. And it's way different than the 1E Bard. The 1E Bard is obviously, you start as a fighter, then you're a thief, then you're a Bard. In here, it's just a class. It's a normal class. It does cast spells, but the real heart of the Bard class is what's called verbal patter. And it's a way of influencing other people using just your charisma. Right. So you can convince them of things, you can make them angry or sad, or you can manipulate people using this verbal patter ability, and it's really what sets Adventures Dark and Deep apart from other versions of the Bard, which are basically spellcasters that can do thieving stuff too. Another thing that sets Adventures Dark and Deep apart from 1E is the initiative system in combat. Um, in Adventures Dark and Deep, initiative is done individually and it takes weapon speed into account. I know you're cringing. Oh no, weapon speed, it's so complicated. No, it's just another number you have on your character sheet. And what you do is you roll the die, you add either your weapon speed or your spell casting time in segments, and that tells you what segment you go on. There's a couple other modifiers if you're doing other things, like if you're using a wand, it tells you how many how many segments to add and so forth. That's corner cases though. The core of it is weapon speed or spell casting time. And then the DM just starts counting up. So 1, 2, 3, I go. 4, 5, I go. 6, the monsters go. And it really works great at the table. I've been using it for years. It really speeds things up and it really makes your choice of weapon much more of a strategic choice. Because if you normally, when you have a high damage weapon like a two-handed sword, it means you're going to go much later in the round. And that really can matter sometimes. So it does make things a choice. Um, Another big difference between 1E and Adventures Dark and Deep is variable hit dice for the monsters. So the monsters, just to take an example here, I'm looking at where is it? The ghoul. The ghoul has 2d8 hit dice. So different monsters are going to have different die types for their hit dice. So a ghoul has a d8, which is like the standard in 1E. But if you look at a giant, like a frost giant has 10d12 hit dice, so it rolls d12s for hit points, not d8s, and that can really make a difference in the monsters. It's a way of making the monsters able to soak up more damage without necessarily making them harder hitters. So he's still a 10 hit die creature. He's still using that 10 hit die creature table to determine what he needs to hit you, but he can still take more hit dice. You don't need to really make things more powerful offensively in order to make them more powerful defensively, and that adds a lot of flexibility for the DM when creating monsters or picking a monster to use. It really makes a big difference, and it really works out well. Another thing that differentiates 1E from Adventures Dark and Deep, and unfortunately this did not make it into the light version because of space, but it's in the core version, and that is the skill system. The skill system is based on one that Gary Gygax wrote for Castles and Crusades. That was the inspiration. You spend XP to um, uh, to buy skills. It's not like in 1E where you had non-weapon proficiency slots. You have to actually decide, okay, I want to spend these XP in order to gain this skill. And I took that core idea and I ran with it. I vastly expanded it out and made it a lot more flexible. In one of the other books, I turned it into the Kung Fu system. It's just entirely really flexible in terms of what it can allow you to do in the game. But what makes it so interesting is that it gives the player a strategic choice. Do I want to spend this XP to go up a level, or do I want to spend this XP to learn this skill? It really turns it into a choice, and it makes the game a lot more nuanced because the players have a lot more ability to make decisions rather than just having stuff handed to them and just you add this to your character. You actually have to make a conscious choice. Is that skill worth enough to me that I want to spend the XP to do it? So there's a bunch of other things that's streamlined and so forth. But in terms of the mechanical differences, those are the real key important differences between 1E and Adventures Dark and Deep. Now, Adventures Dark and Deep Light, it's this 170-page book. It has everything you need. It's got races, classes, monsters, magic items, rules. It's all in one book. It's a nice slim volume. It's got the 5 core classes: Bard, Cleric, Fighter, Thief, and Magic User. No subclasses. It stops at level 8, but that's more than enough to keep you going for years. And it is on sale now. It is available at Drive Through RPG. I shall put a link below to the light, which will also take you to a place where you can get the core rules if you want the full experience. So, anyway, thanks for listening, and I do hope you will check out Adventures Dark and Deep. It really is a ton of fun, and this is the game I wanted to play in 1986.